Hello everyone, it's again Aleksandr Semenenko from Voronezh. It's a long time since I've last been on internet, and I'd like today to talk about the censorship and about the system of pseudo-scientific corroboration among the Russian-speaking archaeologists of the Bronze Age of steppe and forest steppe Eurasia. Some time ago, the academia site editors offered to send them for publication short articles for their sub-site Academia Letters. So I've written an article and I've sent it there, but this article has been rejected because of 3 anonymous reviewers. I didn't know who the reviewers were, but then I found out that one of the reviewers was a notoriously known rogue, a liar, a falsifier, Anatoly Klesov. Anatoly Klesov is the doctor of chemistry, but long time ago he decided that he is a historian, and so he decided to establish a new pseudo-scientific discipline called DNA genealogy. And it turned out that he was one of the anonymous reviewers who had written a very subjective review for my Academia Letters article. I am sure that the other 2 were also from the camp of the pseudo-chariot archaeologists of the Russian and Ukrainian and Kazakhstan forest steppe and steppe regions of the Bronze Age of Eurasia. He even posted his review to my article in his pseudo-scientific journal of DNA genealogy. My today's report consists of 2 parts. Firstly, I'd like to read you the text of this article, and then I'd like to make some comments for it. So, the title of the article is "The Pseudo-Scientific Conspiracy in the Post-Soviet Russian-Speaking Pseudo-Chariot Archaeology of the Forest Steppe and Steppe Bronze Age of Eurasia." The article rejected by the Academia Letters because of 3 anonymous reviewers. So the text runs as follows. The discovery of the Sintashta archaeological culture around 1970 led to the appearance of the pseudo-chariot school of archaeology in the Soviet history science. Further excavations of the Petrovka and Andronova cemeteries and settlements resulted into formulation of the pseudo-scientific theory, so-called theory of the existence of the so-called horizon of chariot cultures in the forest steppe and steppe zones of Eurasia in 2100 to 1500 BC. This region has been proposed as the homeland of the Aryan group of the Indo-Europeans and as the source of the violent charioteers-headed incursions to modern-day Greece, Transcaucasus, Syria, northern Iraq, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and even China. But in reality, the pseudo-chariot archaeology of the forest and forest steppe zones of Eurasia in 2100 to 1500 BC is based virtually on nothing. All the material evidence of the chariots is limited to around 30 burials of the Sintashta Petrovka Alakul archaeological tradition, with the traces of the 2 lower thirds or halves of the wheels and several hundred fragments and whole pieces of the cheek pieces made of bone. Among the above mentioned 30 burials of the Sintashta-Petrovka archaeological tradition, with the traces of the two lower thirds or halves of the wheels, only 7 gave the imprints and or fragments of the spokes. Only 2 yielded the imprints of the axle and the hub. These are Krivoye Ozero and Satan Cemetery. Once there were some traces of some sticks recorded placed across the middle of the axle. This is Krivoye Ozero Cemetery. And one more time, a 10-centimeter layer of the decomposed wood or wood dust from the bottom of the unknown type of the two-wheeled vehicle, and a piece of red skin covering the wheel and 4 bone nails to fix it. This is Satan Cemetery. So nowhere in the Sintashta-Petrovka archaeological chronicle do we really have the chariot body with the 3 boats opened at the back and with the special handle or the corresponding system of railing, or at least the front stand high enough, that is up to 90 or 100 centimeters, to be used as a means for keeping balance by the standing charioteer, and to state objectively that a true standing chariot has ever been placed into the grave pits of this Bronze Age cultural tradition. The spoked wheels in the Bronze Age were also part of the sitting two-wheeled carts drawn by the pair of horses. For example, see old Chechen and Chinese data. As for the cheek pieces, they may have been used not exclusively for driving standing chariots, but also for driving sitting two-wheeled carts drawn by the pair of horses, or as a tool to calm down the firstly tamed wild horses. In fact, Igor Chichushkov, one of the protagonists of this pseudo-chariot archaeology of the Bronze Age of the steppe zone of Eurasia, in his candidate of history's thesis, published his experiments with the bone replicas of the Sintashta cheek pieces, using them for driving a one-horse two-wheel sitting cart in summer and a one-horse sleigh in winter. The traces of the worn-outness of this on the surface of the replicas have been the same as on the original Sintashta cheek pieces. Thus, in fact, Igor Chichushkov, not realizing it himself, has proved that Sintashta vehicles were one-horse two-wheel sitting carts. These results demonstrate the non-validity of the cheek piece argument in proving the existence of the Sintashta-Petrovka local phantom chariots. But the absence of the scientific evidence has never, since around 1970, been an obstacle for the Soviet and post-Soviet Russian-speaking Bronze Age archaeologists of Russia, Ukraine and Kazakhstan to propagate the theory of the powerful chariot-armed tribes of the forest steppe and steppe zones of Eurasia. In fact, South Ural archaeologists Andrei Epimachov and his disciple Igor Chichushkov have even made up 146 phantom Sintashta chariots, inventing them actually out of nothing. Unfortunately, this definitely highly scientific opus of theirs has been published in the authoritative Journal of World Prehistory. Instead of the material evidence, the pseudo-chariot archaeologists of the forest steppe and steppe zones of the Bronze Age of Eurasia use different, utterly baseless pseudo-reconstructions of the phantom Sintashta-Petrovka Alakul chariots, ignoring all the fundamental principles of the truly objective scientific reconstruction. Thus, Igor Chichushkov and Ivan Semyan, the other disciple of Andrei Epimachov, have recently produced the so-called Krivoye Ozero cemetery chariot reconstruction, with the never archaeologically attested rectangular hole in the bottom between the charioteer's feet to make it function as a self-balancing scooter of the Bronze Age, as Ivan Semyan proudly but absolutely thoughtlessly calls it in one of his numerous interviews for the Yellow Press. They also use administrative resources such as the personal acquaintance with the governor of Chelyabinsk, for example. See Ivan Semyan's own confession in one of his interviews. And pseudo-scientific popular mass media to disseminate the information of their pseudo-scientific discoveries and pseudo-reconstructions. They arrange the mutual citation, publication and censorship of each other's works, thus making them look scientifically approved and seem scientific communist opinion. They reflect aggressively the attempts to criticize the pseudo-scientific reconstructions and pseudo-chariot theory using mostly sharp ad hominem arguments. Among the leaders of this evident pseudo-scientific conspiracy in the post-Soviet Russian-speaking pseudo-chariot archaeology of the forest and forest steppe zones of the Bronze Age of Eurasia are Russian archaeologists Pavel Kuznetsov from Samara, Andrei Yepimachov, Igor Chuchushkov and Semyan from Chelyabinsk, and Kazakhstan archaeologist Viktor Novozhonov. So, this is the text of the rejected article, and I'd like to comment on some of the reviews by the anonymous reviewers made for this article, and as a result it hasn't been published among the academic letters. As I've already mentioned, one of the reviewers was Doctor of Chemistry Anatoly Klesov. In fact, his review is absolutely unscientific because he's not a historian, he's not an archaeologist, he has no higher historical education, he has no scientific degree in archaeology or history, as I have, as I do. So this is the quality of the censorship of the reviews of these academic letters. The second point is that some of the reviewers accused me of slander about my words of the using of administrative resources and personal acquaintance with the governor of Chelyabinsk and so on. That is the point I'd like to linger on for some time. To disseminate my critical reviews, I've established a Yandex.Zen channel on the internet, and I'd like to draw your attention to some of its articles dedicated to Archaim Sintashta pseudo-scientific myth. So please turn here. This is one of them. So talking about this so-called reconstruction, in fact you can see this picture, and we see very clearly that it has this detail which has been never attested in the archaeology and history of humanity. So it is a modern invention based on the modern knowledge of engineering principles of vehicles, and there is no evidence that this invention has ever been known to the old world ancient people of Eurasia, of the old world in general, in Bronze Age or in Iron Age. Let us move. So they've even using the ties, using their personal relationships, acquaintance with the governor of Chelyabinsk, Texler, and his wife, Irina Texler. She is the establisher of the foundation called 2020. So this foundation and some influential businessmen of the Chelyabinsk region sponsored the making of the pseudo-scientific movie called K.i.n, the Chariot of Time, and they started to advertise it firstly in Chelyabinsk region as the world sensation, scientific popular movie. And then even if you look at this poster advertisement, you can see that the film has been made using the support of the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, that is Texler. You can see that it has been also made up with the support of the government of the Chelyabinsk region. You also see here the Foundation 2020, established by Irina Texler, that is the wife of the Chelyabinsk governor. So now who can blame me, who can accuse me of slander? But let us go on, let us continue. Here we can see how the students of the history department of the Southern Ural State Humanitarian Pedagogical University of Chelyabinsk are invited to watch this newly made movie. It is the date 15 of February 2022. And you can see here Irina Texler, the wife of the governor, and you can see here Ivan Semyan, one of the falsifiers, one of the knaves, who has invented the scooter of the Bronze Age, and stated that it is a true Sintashta Archaim chariot of the Bronze Age. So they are standing together among other people, students here. This is the photograph. Now let us move. This is the illustration from this pseudo-scientific movie. So you can see here Archaim becomes and functions as the center, as the original source of the violent incursions of the chariot troops. You can see chariots here. All these chariots are replicas of Chuchushkov and Semyan's false chariot, the scooter of the Bronze Age. So they invade Balkan Peninsula and Greece. They invade Middle Asia, south of the Middle Asia. Then they invade Iran, Mesopotamia, Iraq, Syria, Mitanni, and up to Egypt. They invade South Asia. They invade southern Siberia, and then even China, northern China. Let us move. The other article of mine here. This is one of the founders of this pseudo-scientific myth of the Archaim Sintashta pseudo-Aryas, pseudo-chariot warriors, Gennady Borisovich Zdanovich. This is Andrei Epimachov, doctor of history and eminent South Uralian archaeologist, one of the inventors of the hundreds of phantom chariots of the Bronze Age, of forest steppe and steppe zones of Bronze Age Old World Eurasia. So, about personal relationships, Zdanovich functions as the guide to Vladimir Putin during his visit to Archaim, telling him about the areas of Sintashta Archaim culture, about their huge fortresses, about their powerful chariots, fearless warriors, and so on. He is now called the Putin's guide in the press. And this is Dmitry Anatolyevich Medvedev. He was then the president of Russian Federation. He was also invited to K.i.n, and Zdanovich also functioned as his guide in the museum of K.i.n, showing him, demonstrating him vessels and reconstructions. And now they even use these pictures with Medvedev and Putin visiting K.i.n in their advertisements, in their posters hanging on the walls of this state museum. And about this last reconstruction of theirs, this is Igor Chichushkov. He is now in the USA, but he was the member of the staff of the Southern Uralian State University. They are preparing the pseudo-reconstruction for the experimental drive. This is Ivan Semyan. And this is Ivan Semyan also, and he was one of the organizers of the exhibition with the another falsification of the pseudo-chariot of the Bronze Age. It was very high because 6 people were struggling to carry it. So Vladimir Putin was invited to visit this exhibition, and he was shown this exhibition. And here we can see the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Alexei Texler. And here you can see the one of the inventors, one of the falsifiers, one of the fraudsters of the pseudo-scientific pseudo-chariot archaeology of the Bronze Age of Southern Urals, Ivan Semyan. And we can also see the leader of one of the most eminent Russian political parties, Fair Russia, Patriots for the Truth, Mironov. So this is the premiere. This is the first demonstration of the pseudo-scientific movie K.i.n, The Chariot of Time, in one of the Moscow cinemas, Illusion. It was on the 28th of June in 2022. So you can see here Texler, the governor of Chelyabinsk region, and you can see here Semyan. But this is not all. So here we can see how Ivan Semyan tries to demonstrate the possibilities of his fake chariot. He is trying to drive Texler on this so-called chariot. This photograph has been made during the Festival of the Historical Reconstruction in K.i.n. It is annual. It was organized by Semyan and the K.i.n Museum, and it is called The Flame of K.i.n 2021. So you can see their personal acquaintance. And now, this is a very famous photograph. Here Ivan Semyan visits, for the first time he visits the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Alexei Texler, and they are shaking hands because Alexei Texler promises him to support his pseudo-scientific explorations and the making up of the pseudo-scientific film K.i.n, The Chariot of Time. Am I lying? So you can see different fakes. They proclaimed this chariot a true reconstruction, and they even started to multiply it by all the ways possible. Now you can see up to several dozens of these so-called chariots made in bronze. And now about the personal acquaintance between Ivan Semyan and the wife of the Chelyabinsk region governor, Irina Texler. Here they are during the Festival of the Historical Reconstruction, The Flame of K.i.n 2022. The photo is taken from the open group in Vkontakte social network organized by the Foundation 2020, the establisher of which is Irina Texler, ВКонтакте. So, and they are during the final evening of this festival, the Flame of K.i.н 2022, standing side by side. So when I was talking about the personal acquaintance, I didn't lie, and I do not lie. So I used only objective facts. You can see it very clearly. And now they are again at this festival going to demonstrate the possibilities of the fake chariot of invented by Ivan Semyan and Igor Chuchkov, looking at each other. And these are two replicas of this fake chariot standing, so to say, lying side by side at this festival, Flame of K.i.н 2022. And now they are making advertisement of it, advertising it, so using the replicas of the Bronze Age spear and battle axe. So Ivan Semyan is dressed as the shepherd of the Bronze Age of Sintersta, and Irina Texler is standing next to him and holding the spear, and they are advertising this chariot, the fake chariot of the never existed type of chariot in the historical and archaeological reality. One more picture and one more. It's all taken from the open sources on the internet, so it's not prohibited to use it. It is all published, and now he drives her in this chariot the same as he has driven her husband, the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Aleksandr Texler, on his chariot, on his so-called chariot, the same chariot, by the way. And now they are opening one more exhibition in the Chelyabinsk airport, dedicated to this fake production, standing side by side. And this is this fake chariot, again and again. And they've only invented the child board game using the cards. So they propagate this pseudo-scientific theory. Now, you look at this card. Here the so-called Sintersta chariot is depicted. But the fact is, the objective fact is that only the imprints of this part of the vehicle have been found in 30 burials of Sintersta, Petrovka, Andronova, Alakul cultures. Only this part. So we don't know the true type of this two-wheeled vehicle, draft pole vehicle. Again, about administrative resources, it was very difficult for ordinary scientists of the Southern Ural State University to organize the demonstration of the pseudo-scientific movie K.i.н, the Chariot of Time, throughout Chelyabinsk region and even in Moscow. But it was even more difficult for them, if not impossible at all, to organize an exhibition in the building of the State Duma of the Russian Federation, that is the lower chamber of the Russian Parliament, and it is also dedicated to this very fake chariot. Who has organized it? It has been organized by the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Aleksandr Texler. So, talking about the personal acquaintance with the state officials of Chelyabinsk region, I use only objective sources. And here you can see this exhibition organized by them, this fake chariot, and all the leaders of the lower chamber of Russian Federation Parliament have been invited. Here Aleksandr Texler is standing in front of them. They are standing behind him. For example, this is Gennady Zyuganov, the leader of the communists of Russia, and so on. Now you can see Irina Texler, his wife, Texler's wife, behind him. Also at this and even the title of the exhibition is pseudo-scientific, because it is called Chelyabinsk region, K.i.n, the chariot of time. So the title is the same as the title of this pseudo-scientific movie. And again, Texler is giving a speech for the deputies of the State Duma and for the press, propagating the pseudo-scientific theory, propagating these pseudo-chariot reconstructions of the Chelyabinsk pseudo-areas. Two leaders of the Russian political parties, communists, Fair Russia, at this exhibition. Zyuganov and Texler together at this exhibition. You see the title Древние, ancient Achaemenians. Who were they? So, and you can see also here the staff members of the K.i.н museum. This is, for example, Ilya Vlyahmetov. And you can see the T-shirts. They are wearing the T-shirts with this label of K.i.н. This is one more proof that these pseudo-scientific reconstructors, these falsifiers, these fraudsters, these knaves, they use administrative resources, and they use also their personal acquaintance with the leaders of Chelyabinsk region. About the second reconstruction, it was very, very heavy. You see several people are trying to carry it. So it has never been ridden. I don't know what animal could move it. You see here this poster with Putin and Medvedev visiting K.i.н, and this one more fake. Semyan was also participating. And to compare, just compare the true relief, Bronze Age relief. This is from the mortuary temple of Ramses III. So here we can see a Libyan warrior, chariot warrior. He has surrendered to Egyptians, and he is carrying his own chariot. One man is carrying one chariot. So this is a light, true chariot, battle chariot, and not the chariot which needs 6 people to be carried. 6 people. The drawing of the same and the second, so we can see it. And now about Assyrian battle chariots. Here we have the gypsum panel from the British Museum, and one of the Assyrian soldiers is carrying alone this battle chariot, Assyrian battle chariot. And here 2 warriors are carrying one battle chariot. And this is Ivan Semyan with this fake chariot. It was especially invented and made by the K.i.н Museum for the exhibition, with the participation of the Russian Federation and Kazakhstan Republic leaders, Putin and, if I'm not mistaken, Nazarbayev, in November 2017. So this was the exhibition, and Ivan Semyan participated in it. Another fake, and another fake producer. And now it is one of the exhibits of the K.i.н Museum in K.i.н. Visitors are misled by the guides, and this is the second. The making of it, so you see the hole between the feet of the charioteer. And now the final product. Again, Ivan Semyan is driving the governor of Chelyabinsk region, Alexei Texler, on this fake chariot during the festival of the historical reconstructions, the Flame of K.i.н. and he's also driving a Renault Texler. Already we've seen these photos. Some more. One more. I've mentioned that they make the mutual citation, publication, and censorship. What do I mean? For example, I've mentioned that one of the leaders of this pseudo-scientific conspiracy in post-Soviet Russian-speaking archaeology of the Bronze Age, of the steppe and forest steppe zones of Eurasia is Viktor Novozhonov. Viktor Novozhonov is notoriously known for his So, Viktor Novozhonov is notoriously known for his chronology, pseudo-scientific chronology of the petroglyphs or rock pictures with the depiction of different vehicles. He invented his own method of dating them, and the interesting thing is that firstly Andrei Epimachov, Igor Chichushkov, in several of their articles published in different scientific journals, they proclaim that these petroglyphs with the depictions of the chariots cannot be used as the scientific tool because they cannot be dated properly, objectively. But then they've decided to unite their efforts, and they started to support Novozhonov's conclusions, dating all these petroglyphs to the Bronze Age. They have no true remnants of the chariots and burials of Kazakhstan of the Bronze Age, so of Andronov and Dalakul. So they've decided to date the petroglyphs of Kazakhstan and Middle Asia by this epoch also, and they proclaimed, they declared these petroglyphs, the depictions of the Andronova and Dalakul Bronze Age chariots. So now they use this as an evidence to prove that there were true chariots among the Andronovans and Alakulans. And now they invite, please stand here, they invite these archaeologists, these chronologists, pseudo-scientific chronologists of the petroglyphs, Viktor Novozhonov, to the place, to Chelyabinsk, and he is proudly standing on the fake chariot of Ivan Semyan and Igor Chichushkov, proving it is a true Bronze Age chariot, a replica of a true chariot, existing chariot of this archaeological culture. But what about Viktor Novozhonov himself? I've also published an e-book several years ago, and one of the chapters is dedicated to his false reconstruction, pseudo-scientific reconstruction of the so-called chariot from the burial pit 1 of the Satan cemetery in central Kazakhstan. So this is the drawing of the true remnants of the vehicle. So what we can see here? We can see two wheel pits, and we have parts, the layer of the decomposed body of the unknown type of the vehicle, of the two-wheeled vehicle. It is 10 centimeters thick. So it is in fact wooden dust. And not even the dust, but the traces of it. And also we have two-wheel pits, and in these two-wheel pits they discovered the traces of the axle and some spokes. So this vehicle, it was two-wheeled, it had spoked wheels, and this is nothing more. But then he, I mean Viktor Novozhonov, and one of the eminent reconstructors of Kazakhstan, Altenbekov, they produced a fake reconstruction of this Satan chariot. Just compare the drawing of the burial site and the so-called reconstruction. So here we should have the wooden bottom of the vehicle, but it is not wooden. They used skin belts, crossed skin belts, and it has no wooden bottom at all. The shape of the bottom is not rectangular, but it is not wooden. They made the railing looking like this, but there are no traces of such railing. And the only true part of the vehicle is this reconstructed wheel with the spokes, and it has the leather covering fixed by bone nails. So they have not only produced this fake reconstruction of this so-called Satan pseudo-chariot of the Bronze Age, but they also made this, and this pseudo-reconstruction stands now in one of the Kazakhstan cities as a monument to Kazakhstan and Ronovan charioteers of the Bronze Age. And who is this man? Who is this person? This person is Viktor Novozhonov himself. He is proudly demonstrating, advertising this false, fake chariot, fake reconstruction. Isn't he a knave? Isn't he a fraudster? Again, some more pictures of this chariot, so-called chariot. It has been never recorded with such details, but it stands proudly on the streets of one of the Kazakhstan central cities. So not facts, but advertisement. And one more, probably the last example of what I call using the administrative resource. Not scientists, of course, even not the false reconstructors, of course, but only the governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Texler, had the possibility, the ability to organize the exhibition of Chelyabinsk region in the central department store of Russian Federation, standing on the Red Square, our famous GUM, State Department shop. And here we have this fake reconstruction of Chuchushkov and Semyan. It has been demonstrated there for the public, for the Muscovites, everybody, and me too. By chance I had the possibility to visit it, and to conceal the unscientific nature of this fake chariot, they covered the bottom of the chariot with the fur. Has ever any chariot of the Bronze Age and Iron Age epochs of the ancient world history been covered by fur? The bottom of it. What for? It's absolutely unscientific. But the inscriptions, so to call it, for this exhibit is even more interesting. For example, here we can see the inscription. And now Texler is opening this exhibition, governor of Chelyabinsk. So he's not a scholar, but he proclaims Chelyabinsk region the motherland of all Indo-European culture and of all Indo-Europeans. He proclaims K.i.н the center of Indo-European civilization, of Aryan civilization, of Aryans subduing all the regions of the old world, most of them. So, and he is opening this exhibition. Is it science? And here you can see the hashtags: Chelyabinsk region, Sintoshta, K.и.н, and this one is called the place of the force, место силы in Russian. What is place of the force? It is the very popular name of K.i.н among different fraudsters, among different clairvoyants, so-called, and so on, propagating K.i.н For example, this book, absolutely unscientific book, it is called The Place of the Force, City, not a settlement, not a fortified city, K.i.н, in search of the lost paradise. So K.i.н is the paradise, the lost paradise. You see, this is the situation I've described in this very short article. So for today, I think I've demonstrated enough what is the blind censorship, what is the anonymous, what are the anonymous reviewers for the academia letters, and how all this system works. And you can see very clearly the unscientific nature of all the so-called evidence and the unscientific nature of these reconstruction. In conclusion, I'd like to thank my beautiful daughter, Sophia, for her kind assistance as a video operator of this movie and of this report. And I'd also like to ask you to spread this information with all means possible, because I am only the one person who criticizes all this system of pseudo-scientific, pseudo-chariot, pseudo-Aryan interpretation and pseudo-reconstructions of these cultures of the Bronze Age. And they use not ad rem arguments, they use ad hominem arguments against me. See you there, and goodbye.